This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Pod. I've got a guest for you folks at StocktonCon.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of StocktonCon. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that part. Hey, man, shout out the value of wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We gonna shut this shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh, you better call somebody. You better tell somebody. Tell somebody you love. Yes, get on the horn, get on the beat. Let everybody know that the value of wrestling is live on YouTube with your SmackDown post-show review for March 2020, March 22nd, 2024. You know, I'm here. I can speak English. I promise. Give me a minute. We'll get going. I'm just a little bit rowdy up. I'm a little bit wired up. Nothing like going on Twitter and finding you're blocked by tampon bucks. What? Yeah. Did it happen? Yeah. Craziness. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to talk about them. We're going to talk about SmackDown. But first, let me introduce you to my co-partner right here. Hey, old man.
Paulus Clarke.
Oh, you know. Because you know me, I'm a cat. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, yeah. It is SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the party. If it's your first time here, sit down, get ready to enjoy, because it's going to be a damn good show. Like SmackDown seemed to be a pretty damn good show. If you're with us, join us in the chat. Tell us what you think. Jump into the conversation. Let us hear what you have to say. Join in the vote there. How do you rate SmackDown for tonight? Tell us how you feel about it. And we're going to get started as soon as I get myself settled in. All right, yes. We see people walking in and arrive, and there's Asuka, not Asuka, not Akusa, or whatever Goldberg called her, because he wants to whine and cry that she had a longer winning streak than he did. Boo-hoo. Get her name right at least. Okay, I love you, Goldberg. We're both from Tulsa. I know they're going to say you're from Atlanta, but you're a Tulsa boy. You know what? I know it. Cool. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Cool. Anyways, that's beside the point, but we saw Asuka, Damage Control, all these people showing up. And Rey is headed here, and we get a opening with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. So they're not going to do this at WrestleMania. It looks like maybe they're going to adjust it for something else. But tonight, we got Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. And a good solid match between these two luchadors going all over the place. Just an exciting match here. Back and forth, counter after counter. These two really showing good stuff. Rey demands to know where Escobar's smile is as he bounces him onto the announce table. Then the ring post. They get back in the ring, but the ref is distracted as Dominic Mysterio breaks up a move. This lets Escobar hit Rey Mysterio with a 619 of his own into a Phantom Driver. Escobar wins. This match went 12 minutes, 34 seconds. Good, solid match. Dominic showing up in a Rey Mysterio mask to cause a distraction. What is the purpose of this? What is he doing here? Does this have anything to do with Andrade from Monday? Or is this just something Dom's doing to harass his dad on the road to WrestleMania? Interesting spin in it. Or is Rey going to have somebody that's going to take care of Dominic going down the road? Or is Dominic somehow going to get involved with the Legado del Fantasma? A lot of interesting elements into this. We're going to have to wait and see how this all comes together. Could we get a big 10-man tag? Could we see Santos Escobar, Roberto Angel, Andrade, and Dominic Mysterio against the LWO of Rey Mysterio, Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, Carlito, and Dragon Lee? Is this possibly something we could be heading into? Big 10-man match to get all these guys on the card. They've definitely worked hard and definitely deserve it. And you could do something with Elektra and Zelina Vega in that matter too. But it could be very interesting where we're going with this. Why was Dominic here? We thought him and Rey hadn't really had anything to do with each other. Rey beat him last year at WrestleMania. Rey then separated himself from Dom, leaving Raw, going to SmackDown. We thought there was going to be some separation. Suddenly, with 2 weeks left, we're going to get something creeping up here. I don't know if we're going to get. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, we're going to get Rey Mysterio, Dominic 2 at WrestleMania this year." I don't know if that's really what we're headed for, but it's a definitely. I mean, it's a possibility, but I think we're going to get something more out of this. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. And I think the added element is going to be, what does Andrade have planned for Dominic or Judgment Day? What is his role? Where is Andrade going to land? This. It's a Mexican standoff. Well, maybe it's a Mexican standoff. Somebody better bring the tequila and somebody bring the limes. It's going to be a long one. Mr. Clarke, how did you feel about this opening match tonight?
I thought it was funny just the continuity with Dom messing with his dad. I kind of popped for it, to be honest. It was a good match, back and forth. Actually, this is one of the best matches I've seen Rey Mysterio in a while. Even though he's older, and because it's his first time in a while being back in the ring, it was a little, I don't want to say botchy, but he wasn't quite on top of his game. There was still a lot of it that reminded me of his WCW days as Rey Mysterio Jr. There was just certain things that were crisp enough. I'm like going, damn, he looks like he slimmed down a little bit also. I mean, he just said, you look good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw some little things, but
definitely look healthier.
He still made up for it.
It was a good, solid match. Lots of fun. I have all that WrestleMania night party at my house. So you have a WrestleMania. Okay, well, remember, you got to go on air after both of those. Just remember that, my good friend. You don't need Marty Richards showing up at your house. Fair warning. Just a fair warning. Anyways, from there we go in the back where we see Bayley. She finds stretchy Naomi and thanks her for helping her last week. Naomi is just trying to do the right thing, and she's pissed at Io. Bianca Belair walks over and brings up all the times Bayley and Damage Control attacked her. Belair knows Bayley isn't sorry, and everything Bayley has coming to her is deserved. They start bickering. Naomi diffuses the situation and walks Belair out of the frame. Back in the ring here is Austin Theory and the slightly more and Grayson Waller. I don't know why these people comments in. Okay, they'll be in action after the break. In the back, Belair and Naomi are still bickering and walk past Cody Rhodes as he's signing and stuff. Naomi validates Belair's feelings, but she can't do anything about the past. She won't back down, but knows she needs help, just like Belair did in the past. No one can take down Damage Control alone. Back to the ring, and the OC are getting an entrance. The first time we've seen the OC on main roster TV. They've recently been working in NXT, looking pretty damn good. And tonight, they're going to take on the young boys of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Yes, OC, they come out with Michin. Oh, this was a decent match.
And even Michin looked good, though. I was like, damn, girl.
This was a decent match. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows looking really good. The OC, the Good Brothers. They want the Magic Hill, but Waller breaks it up. Eventually, Theory rolls up Galloway when he gets an assist on the pin from Waller to get the pin. They use the ropes, and I think Theory got the pin, and he had his feet on the ropes, and Waller was pulling on his feet to just add that added leverage on Luke Gallows. They get the pin, 6 minutes, 55 seconds. It's kind of a mixed reaction for me because I'm like, I'm glad Grayson Waller and Austin Theory got this win. It fits their characters to do the dirty shenanigans and the cheap pin. I'm just a little upset that we haven't seen OC on TV and they kind of get, nah. I just want a little more. Hopefully they get a redemption arc in this. Hopefully they get a comeback. They may not be going on to the WrestleMania match, but hopefully they get their comeuppings. They get their chance to dominate Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, whether it's before or right after WrestleMania. Hopefully they get their moment to get this win back and feel like something special. I want to see the OC move forward and become something again. They kind of seem lost. We thought they were going to go back with AJ Styles for a minute there, but now they're jobbing out. Yes. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
I actually can kind of see Theory and Waller feuding with the OC for a little bit, whether, there's enough commitments before WrestleMania or not. Like, because of just this one match alone, there's plenty of reasons to have them at least be in a mini feud. But it's like, I couldn't even be mad that Waller and Austin Theory got this win. I was like, as much as we give them props for showcases, they actually need to win sometimes to be built up to look good. Now, whether it's through nefarious means or not, that's another story. But they do need some of these W's. So that's kind of why I was like, well, they're not using the OC that much right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll start to after this.
Hopefully they'll take some direction. Maybe this will lead the OC to go heel and join back up with AJ. I think AJ needs them. I think they need AJ. We give them all something to do. I like a few more stables in WWE. We got one, and the second one kind of coming in. The bad part is we got one in Judgment Day, but they're seeming that their end is coming. We have Final Testament with Carrying and Cross, AOP, Scarlett, and
Paul Ellering
coming up to possibly take that place. The Pride, as I've heard their name, but never really has been official of.
They've never been given an official name.
Yeah, it's kind of lackluster. They keep kind of going, but falling and going and falling. Tonight, was a different night. So it's like, I like a couple more good. We have the LWO, but they still don't always feel like they're presented as a
It's
stable.
about Rey Mysterio. It's not even about the stable.
So,
and that's what irritates me about the present version of the LWO.
And Legado del Fantasma is something new. I mean, there's a few little stables, but I'd like to see more stables, more dominant stables, more stables that are going to be around in WWE. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we got a hype promo on Braun Breaker. Awesome. Braun Breaker, another guy who does the spear, and Goldberg gets upset because everybody does the spear, which I don't really get. Of course, I guess in the end of that conversation, he was kind of like, well, I understand why they do this. I don't know. Braun Breaker. I got to see this guy more. I don't know. I know if you watch him in NXT, you're probably a little more hyped. I still got to get.
Oh yes. Oh, most definitely yes.
Damage Control is walking to the back, and after this break, Io is taking on Naomi. We come back and we get a recap of Roman's interview with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee Show. Good stuff there. To the ring, and here comes Naomi. Everyone who isn't Io Sky comes out, and then they cut to the back. Io is beating the crap out of Bayley before she heads out to the ring, and Naomi, feel the glow, everybody. And he's a savage. Who's a savage?
Braun Breaker.
Well, I went through Braun Breaker, Pat McAfee, and Roman Reigns, so that's why I have to ask who's a savage, because that just came out.
Right.
Anyways, Naomi versus Io Sky, Feel the Glow comes out, and we get a good match between Io and Naomi here. Eventually, it all breaks down. Naomi with knee strikes and the Heat Seeker. Naomi up top for the rest of Damage Control, distracts her, which allows Io to pull her down and hit over the moonsault and get the pin. Io Sky gets a good win here at 8 minutes, 56 seconds. A lot of people upset that feel Naomi is getting buried. Naomi just kind of coming back. I don't know if she has the directions, so I think it's okay for her to take a couple L's, but it's also building up. It looks like she's going to align with Bianca Belair, so there might be something here. Of course, if she aligns with Bianca Belair and they make peace with Bayley, they all move forward to take down Damage Control. This could definitely be interesting. I wonder if Damage Control is going to be the women's War Games match this year. It looks like they're building Bayley to take on this with her own friends. So we're going to have to wait and see how this all comes together. Post-match, Naomi gets jumped. She tries to fight back, but Asuka hits her with the poison and misses the blinder. Bianca Belair decides to show up. It wasn't going to help Bayley, but she was here to help Naomi, and they beat down. Arbella runs over to Kai and beats down the rest of Damage Control. Kyrie pulls Belair off of Asuka, but gets caught with an implanted buster. Then Kai chop blocks Belair. Io with a low drop kick to Belair. Damage Control stomps on both of them. Crowd chants for Bayley, but Io already took care of her once. So once again, the heels stand tall. Good solid match here. It's Io, Naomi. We're getting the Bianca Belair Dakota Kai match next week. That's kind of what we got out of this, and we're seeing this new establishment of Bayley being the babyface and Damage Control. Naomi and Bianca Belair are definitely going to align. I think Naomi is going to be the catalyst that'll make peace between Bayley and Bianca Belair throughout the rest of the year, because even if Bayley wins, it's still going to be a long road of back and forth with Damage Control and her.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, sir?
I mean, I thought it was a good match. I don't know. It's like you can make the argument that Naomi's getting buried, but it's like, really? Like she wasn't going to, because Io need to look good for her match coming up to WrestleMania. So what you didn't see Naomi winning this match for that reason alone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a good match, and so we got what we needed out of that. We're moving forwards, and yes, I think everybody gets excited when you see a throwback to Muda, the Poison Mist. However it happens, whether it's it's a heelish tactic, but it's still something people cheer because of the history. And the people have used that mist. It's not only a Muda thing; it's been used by many, many different over time. I think even Ultimo Dragon used it every once in a while, not as regular, but there's been plenty of people who've used Poison Mist at different times.
But if you want to get someone a little slightly more current, we'll talk about Tajiri.
Tajiri was a big one. I even think the future WWE Hall of Famer for this year, Bull Nakano, used it a couple.
That wouldn't have surprised me.
Anyways, we get the announcement that we're going to see Jade Cargill. She's not here to be the next anything. She's a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and we'll be taking her talent to SmackDown. And Jade Cargill is now officially a member of the SmackDown roster, and we're going to see her next week. Not necessarily in action, but we're going to see her next week. We're finally getting the presentation of a Jade Cargill. Are we going to get a match with Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, or are we just going to slowly build her up to have her first match after WrestleMania? It's going to be interesting. The Great Kabuki, yes. A lot of people used it. There's a lot. After the break, we get a video package of and somebody said AJ Styles looked like he ate AJ Styles from a year ago, as big as AJ Styles is today. AJ Styles looking swole. This butter trucker just looking like I don't know. Kelly's in Georgia though. He lives down there in Georgia. Anyways, he's in his house. They're going to do an interview, and we hear a horn honking. And AJ gets pissed off, walks outside his home, because that's the first thing you do when you hear somebody's just honking on a horn at your house that's away from everybody else, and you hear a horn honking, you walk outside. Anyways, LA Knight was there, and LA Knight and AJ Styles got into it. Eventually, we've seen LA Knight get arrested. Come on, notes. Frozen. There we go. Up here. Okay. But we come back and Bel Air helps Naomi flush her eyes out. Tiffany Stratton, Tiffy Time tonight, which got a bigger reaction from the crowd. He's on the Billy Gunn protein. Why do you have to bring Billy Gunn and his protein into? Is there something you like about Billy Gunn's protein?
Oh Lord, here we go.
He opens mouth, inserts foot. I mean, he puts himself out there. I mean, what does Billy Gunn's protein got to do with anything here? I would have said he's on Hulk Hogan's vitamins. At least that might have been a little more subtle and saying. I mean, Billy Gunn's protein. Billy Gunn, the ass man. The badass Billy Gunn. I mean, it's just kind of like this Scissor Me Daddy protein drink, yes. The Brock Lesnar juice? No? Billy Gunn protein. That's the guy you went with. I'm just saying, yeah.
Well, what would be worse, the Brock Lesnar juice or the Ultimate Warrior juice?
Oh, there you go. You know who needs some of that Billy Gunn protein drink? Hashtag tampon bucks. In the back, Belair is, of course, helping Naomi flush her eyes out for the Poison Mist, Tiffany Stratton, because it's Tiffy time. Big reaction there. Tiffy is going to get over in WWE fast. Belair considers jumping to sides to help out Naomi instead. We're in Nick Aldis' office, and Nick Aldis recently had surgery. If you didn't notice, he had a kind of cast on his arm. I forget what it actually is. Don't encourage Miguel, please. Anyways, he's back there talking to Kevin Owens about the Logan Paul match, and when Predley Deadly interrupts, and they want a match at WrestleMania, Kevin Owens wants a tag match next week against him. They don't think he's got a friend, but Owens does have an acquaintance, and they make a good team. He asks Randy, who's standing off camera, do you want to stand by, tag with him? This makes Elton jump because Randy's standing next to him. Pretty Deadly was great in this moment. I love the Elton jumping in fair, like, oh, Randy had snuck in. Randy agrees, and they can be in the match next week. Prince and Wilson complain about that. Aldis warns them, tells them they have a match next week, and then tells them they shouldn't stand so close to one another. They look at each other like, what do you mean? And here comes the beautiful ha-ha that makes Kevin Owens so great. He punches both of them at the same time and tells Randy as he's walking off screen, so I told you, Randy, I could do it. And you have to love it. It was great. He did it again.
That off comment where he goes, "Hey Randy, you want to go hang out in your trailer?"
Yes. Hey, didn't they say that?
No, your bus? My bad.
Yeah. Didn't they say no meat slapping here? You said meat men. You went to meat slapping again. Anyways, we get the rest of the video package. AJ Knight and AJ Styles and LA Knight. Knight showed up at AJ's house. They brawled. They took Knight into custody, and AJ declined to press charges. We're in the ring with the Street Profits. After that, we get AOP along with the rest of the Final Testament. This was a good match between these four. That's what you expected. Eventually, Ford to catch Razor with a small package to get a win. Match went 8 minutes 30 seconds. It was a good solid match here. Definitely enjoyed the match. Disappointed that the Street Profits weren't winning it, but I mean, or not the Street Profits. The AOP I felt was just, they haven't had a tag team win that I can think of yet since their return. So I was kind of hoping they get it, but I get the Street Profits over here. Street Profits are probably not going to get past Waller in theory. Is my feeling in this. I think you're going to have the Pride and the Final Testament have some interaction at WrestleMania. That's more of the storyline. So I'm sure AOP is probably going to come out and cross the Street Profits next week for this title match. But it was a good match between these teams, but nothing to really get excited about. Neither of these teams have really been presented in the greatest light. AOP just coming back. The Street Profits, seeming like they're kind of floundering in the world of tag team wrestling. No real direction. And we thought they were going to be with Bobby Lashley. We thought they were going to go heel. I think that was the initial thing, but it just didn't happen. And then they evolved to where they are now. And it's just kind of like, I think WWE and Triple H and Creative here is just kind of stuck. Like they have plans for these teams, but they just can't really do anything because we're already involved in so much with WrestleMania. So I'm sure these teams are going to get better and more attention coming out of WrestleMania. If they have a match at WrestleMania, great. If they don't, I think we're going to see them more spotlighted after WrestleMania. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
I thought it was a good match. I was a little surprised that, the Street Profits coming out with the win, but the way it was done, and when you look at the brackets going, if LP would have gone over, yeah, Waller and Theory wouldn't have had a chance. So I think that's part of the reason why Profits went over. But again, the way they went over, it's like, okay, it kind of protected the AOP a little bit, because it was kind of a surprise, almost.
The Final Testament, they started off with a hot theory there, but again, I think Triple H, Creative, and everybody, it's not bad booking necessary. I just think they're stuck. It's like, how much stuff can you put on the WrestleMania card without overwatering it down? And I think they have this idea going, but we're in the middle of WrestleMania, so it's kind of like a slow back. Let's draw it back a little bit. Let it slow burn so they can pull the trigger after WrestleMania. So I think after WrestleMania, you're going to see this thing tick off, go forward. That comes. So kind of a wait and see. That would be my best estimate. I think their story there, I think both these teams and groups or factions or whatever you want to call them will be more prevalent in the end. I think you also have to look at the fact that Final Testament, I don't think it's really going to be able to stand on its own until Judgment Day is gone. Final Testament is kind of in the same era of Judgment Day.
Kind of same vein.
They're very, very similar on different brands, thank God, but they have a lot of similarities. So I think that the big point in that is I think Triple H knows that. Creative does that. I think this is why I feel Judgment Day is going to break apart after WrestleMania. And then Final Testament can kind of take that spotlight and maybe advance it. We're seeing. Yeah.
The last time we saw something similar to this was when you had Absolution and the Riot Squad. Two teams that were pretty much the same basis, even though they were on different brands.
Yeah. So I think WrestleMania, yes. After WrestleMania, I think we're getting a big hard reset because it'll fully be the beginning calendar year of what Triple H is Creative. I mean, Triple H has been in charge of Creative for a while now, but I don't think it's been a full year as of yet. So I think, after WrestleMania, I think it's all Triple H's game, and I think that hard reset's going to hit. And we'll see what Brian Gerwitz, The Rock, what their influence is from the board of directors, how much they'll play in that, how much they may not play into that. I think WrestleMania is going to be the telling card. But I think a lot of storylines are going to end at WrestleMania. I know a lot of people are predicting that Cody's not going to end the story. Roman's still going to be champion. I don't think that's the thing. I think it's time for that to all be done. They've ran these titles. I mean, I think Gunther's going to lose his title because it's been a long time. You can't really do much more with Gunther in the direction he's going. It's going to be very interesting. WrestleMania is going to be a hot ticket, and they've got everybody talking. Is anybody talking about that pay-per-view on that other program? What is it called? Dynasty? I guess Tony Khan.
Dinah what? Dinah who? Dinah where?
Yeah. I guess Tony Khan ran out of names and had to go back and find an old 80s TV show to name his pay-per-view after. And get the same little decorative decor. Do you know that if you look at the preview for Dynasty, does it not look like the same thing that you would use on a Crated Wrestler or a Crated Arena in WWE 2K24? It feels like it is. It's bad. Anyways, Heyman's in the back and he calls Roman to tell him that Cody is here alone and that the public waits for Roman. Yes. Public waits for Roman. And we get next week. Next week we have both the final tag team matches, Street Profits versus Syrian Waller, and the new Catch Republic will take on Legado del Fantasma. Also, Pretty Deadly will take on Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, as well as Jade Cargill going to be here. So we're going to have 3 tag team matches next week. That's going to be interesting. Then we're going to see Jade Cargill in some form or faction. Will this set up a WrestleMania match, or will this just create her presence going forward? We are going to have to wait and see how that plays out. But we got this moment, and now we have to see what is to come. From there in the back, we see Roman. He gets out of the car. He walks through the garage. Here's Paul Heyman to follow him and provide directions. To the ring, here comes Roman Reigns, seeing the crowd all stand in a wave. When that music hits, Roman's heads down, accompanied by Paul Heyman. Once in the ring, Roman waits. Some mixed Roman chants, some mixed Cody chants, definitely tonight. Some great chanting here. This was a sold-out arena, even though some people are claiming there was only 12,000 people in there. There was over 14,000 people. I don't know, or 12,000. You can go on Twitter and rant about that. We had 12,000 people in the arena. Go in there and count every fucking head that was there. My French. People. Hurt so much. But yeah, there was over 14,000 people in attendance tonight. This is not according to WWE statistics. This was created. This was according to Wrestle. That showed it. Elements. These also. So he comes out, gets on the mic, or gets the mic from Heyman and says Heyman made a promise, and that the tribal chief keeps his word. He's a man of his word. Here alone. Except for Heyman, and he says Cody should come out here and join Milwaukee in acknowledging Roman. We see Cody walking in the back. His entrance will be after the break. We take a commercial break. It looked like a sellout. It was a sellout. Another sold-out show at 14,000 people. When you set your arena up for that many people. Yeah, AEW had a great attendance with, I think, 5,000 or close to 5,000 and did a sellout in a smaller arena. But, again, this is moving needles. AEW TV is not moving needles. Sorry. I love Mercedes Moné. Maybe not Mercedes Moné in AEW yet, because I'm kind of but it's not moving needles. Parent. That's what good programming is. Why are we watching WWE? Why are most people excited for WrestleMania? Mr. Clarke, tell us about it.
Why are people watching want to see WrestleMania? Because of the stories. Because everything's being built. That's kind of the most important thing that WWE does that AEW doesn't do well enough. In more recent weeks, they've taken hints and pieces of video packaging, of things that help to get to know the characters. But that company has been around 5 years, and they're just now figuring this out. They have the opportunity to take notes from Papa Vince and Papa H.
Well, he's taking hints from Papa Vince. I don't know if that's the right book to take notes out of.
Not present day, but the early days at least were the smarter notes to make.
But I mean, at least WWE seems to be turning up the juice. They're getting reasons to watch. You're excited to be watching and figure it out. It may not be all perfect, but in AEW, you're sitting here going,
There is no entertainment show. It don't matter if it's wrestling, sports, TV, film. Nothing's ever perfect. So it's like, put that out the window. There's no such thing. But do you enjoy it overall? And if the answer is yes, you will continue to watch it. Yes. And that is the important aspect, is giving us reasons to continue to watch.
And I don't get that from AEW. I get what's on the show. It's good stuff in the ring, but it doesn't really do anything to involve me to the next show. WWE is at least setting you up to come watch Raw. Now you got to come watch SmackDown because we know Cody's going to be there. Now we got to see what's going to happen on Raw because CM Punk's going to be there. And then on April 1st's edition of Raw, we're going to have The Rock there. So WWE gives us reasons to watch every week because we want to know what's going on. What does AEW do when they set up a show on Wednesday night for you to come back for next Dynamite? They run down a bunch of matches, but they don't really give you that I have to be there. I have to watch it. I have to DVR it.
And then here's the thing. WWE is so good, they can even get you to tune into a press conference on YouTube.
Exactly. That's what makes it all insanely crazy that here we are, we're hyped up for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is going to be 2 big nights. And people are throwing shade on WrestleMania like, oh, it won't ever, All In is better because All In sold more tickets than any WrestleMania ever. And you're like,
one show versus how many has WWE had?
but I mean, we're hyped to watch it. I mean, All In was basically hyped because it was the biggest event ever. And they're not really going to recapture that magic in a bottle. They've already made the show a lot smaller than last year, for one. And two, I don't think they're going to promote it as well, as much as Tony Khan does this. Tony Khan has promoted one match for Dynasty. And like every pay-per-view, it's one match he's going to promote. Then when he gets to the final week, then he's going to start throwing a bunch of other stuff at the wall, hope it sticks and floats by. But even on his weekly TV, he's not giving us anything to watch. Is anybody really interested in continuously? I mean, are we interested in what's going to happen when Mercedes Moné gets in the ring? Yes. Are we interested in watching Mercedes Moné get on a mic and talk again?
Not the way she's going.
And here
at this point, she's reiterating herself, and that's the problem.
Here's the one for Miguel. Are we interested in seeing what Okada's going to do with that belt going forward right now? Kind of like, yeah.
The
Over here
Continental Crown.
Yes. That Tony had to come out and clarify. No, the Continental Crown's all by itself, and whoever's the Continental Crown champion at the end after Full Gear will be inserted in the tournament. They will be able to defend the title in the tournament. And it was like, cool. Yeah, Tony Khan had to come out and save himself from his own booking because he made promises of it being one thing, and then when it all didn't go the way he thought it was, fell apart and looked bad, then he had to come back and reestablish it all. Anyways, we come back from the post-break. Wrestling has more than one royal family, and here comes Cody Rhodes. Cody produces a mic as well, and Roman reiterates he kept his word and is alone. But is Cody? Cody is much of a man of his word as Roman. So if Roman's alone, then Cody's alone, and they both snicker and smile at each other like it's a little kiddie play date. It was kind of cheesy, but yeah, you could see the glimmer in both their eyes over this. So I figured that both men were probably not alone. Roman says Heyman called this, and then calls Cody a fool, a stupid man who's unfit to be the face of the company. If you fall for this kind of thing, no one has your best interest at heart. Cody has aligned himself with Roman's little brother, Seth Rollins. There's all kinds of problems with that, including last Monday when Seth wasn't there for Cody. That's just Seth showing his true colors. No one knows Seth better than Roman. In the Shield, they had a bond. Roman thought they were family, and Seth stabbed him in the back. So what do you do? What do you think is going to happen to Cody? Cody does remember the Shield, an unstoppable force until they came, until they ran into another tag team named the Rhodes. He appreciates the Venom Life's wisdom, but he knows about the faction's betrayal references, and he knows about faction betrayal as he looks at his bullet cufflinks, referencing something great in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Talk about it in AEW, kind of cringe. Now, maybe they'll rebond that. Of course, if you talk about it in TNA, at least it has a little bit of flavor than it does in AEW. Sad to say that the Bullet Club in TNA sits on a higher ground than the Bullet Club in AEW.
Well, not anymore. They're not wearing Bullet Club stuff anymore. They don't have Bullet Club music anymore, as of the last episode.
So he references Bullet Club, but then the bloodline isn't a faction, is it? It's about family. Family above all. Cody reads Roman's shirt. Cody asks if he can trust Seth. The crowd seems on the fence. And Cody says Seth might hate his guts, but he knows Seth hates Roman even more. And he'll rise. Why did they write? He'll raise the situation. No, he'll rise. Raise the situation? He'll raise the situation. Okay, I'm confused in the writing. He'll raise the situation. He asks Roman if he can trust The Rock. We're all a little confused about the bloodline. Pantheon. Is the tribal chief or the final boss really in charge? Roman considers that seems to have gotten to him just a little bit, but then says that's old news. All Cody is doing is spinning like a politician and is running for governor or something. That's all Cody does, promises never delivers, just like every politician. Bullet Club stateside, the OC feel more like Bullet Club than Bullet Club Gold. Valid point. Roman is number one forever. Cody thinks about that, then says they should get real. Both of them grew up in the business. They looked into the mirror as children and dreamed about this moment being the biggest in the world, like Bruno, Flair, Rock, Austin, Cena. He's admitted that the current generation will grow up and wanting to be the next Roman Reigns, that Roman's destiny, but Roman needs to be reminded about Cody's destiny. When it comes to WrestleMania, to those who beats Roman for that belt after 1,300 days, Cody's the one. Cody offers a handshake and a good luck, but Roman declines to shake hands with Cody. Walks away. Roman shakes hands with Heyman instead. And he's a glorious jerk. They slowly lock out of the ring, and Roman stands off. He snaps his finger, and here comes Jimmy and Solo. They come crawling out of the crowd. They align themselves and stand next to Roman Reigns, who's standing on the entranceway, blocking Cody from the ability to quote-unquote run, it looked like. And then Cody looked worried for a minute, then he got closer, and then he started smiling. And from out of the crowd, Jey Uso showed up, and Seth Rollins showed up. They both had hoodies on. They removed their hoodies, and suddenly Seth Rollins looked like he had gone back to 1995 and found some old Shawn Michaels ring gear. But they were there.
Okay, so I'm not the only one who thought that.
They were both there. They climbed up on the ring with Cody, and the two factions, groups, buddies, friends, family, whatever you call them, stared down each other as SmackDown went off the air. Great moment here. We saw all this. We see where they both stand. And so, yeah. Your thoughts? The face-off.
I mean, it was cool. It's kind of what I expected. I didn't necessarily expect Roman to keep his word, and he did tell towards the end of the segment. But I figured that Jey Uso and Seth Rollins would be there somewhere in the background just to make sure.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good segment. It came together really well. It was a fairly good show. Everything worked out really well. And I think we're building on the road to WrestleMania. People who were looking at Cody as a Punk or as a Booch, that Cody's been booched out by The Rock. I don't get it. I don't know how these people are coming to these terms that, oh, now we got to root for this Cody who's not even worth being there in the first place. I'm like, Cody's been everything he's supposed to be. Cody's been in the role that he's supposed to be. He's the underdog. He's the babyface. He's the man of his word, the man of action, the man of respect, of dignity. And he's approached everything like this. He's not an underhand, dirty, devious person. So I don't know where some people are looking at Cody.
Now, sometime down the line, I expect him to be all those things when he eventually turns heel. But that's some time off.
Yes. No, there's going to be time and a place for everything to happen for what it needs to do. We're just going to have to wait it out and watch the show unwind. But, I mean, right now, I think he's right where he needs to be.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm excited. I think Cody will beat Roman, and we will move forward with the storyline. And Roman and The Rock will begin their storyline. Will we get Rock versus Cody for this title at SummerSlam? I don't know. It's going to be a lot of interesting factors. We have to wait and see how all these things come together and play together as we forward into this SmackDown looking good. My daughter kept jumping the gun thinking there was going to be a brawl. I told her this is how you let a match. They definitely set it up for a moment, but they were better off letting these guys all stare down. Roman being very cocky, thinking he had the upper hand on Cody, that Cody was just so naive and stupid that he wouldn't show up with backup. Cody going, oh, yeah, I know who you are. I got you. I'm not that dumb. A great moment
here. By now he should.
Yes.
After getting his behind whooped last year.
So, coming week's going to be interesting. We got 2 weeks to go into WrestleMania. We got 2 more SmackDowns, 2 more Raws. We know on this Raw, we're coming live from Chicago. It'll be Chicago Made's very own Punk. He'll be here to talk to us. Punk is going to probably insert himself in some form or another into WrestleMania. Very interesting where he will align himself or he will fall in place what he's going to be doing at WrestleMania, but I know Punk's going to be there in some form or fashion. Punk looking like he's working very hard to get ready to get back in the ring, looking like he's in good shape. It's awesome. And then we know The Rock's going to be on the
good role for CM Punk. I think he should be like the host of WrestleMania.
Very possibly could be. I think they already announced the host. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, Punk could be a good host. Who knows what role he'll play? He'll be at WrestleMania. We're going to get to see. Then we know on April 1st on Raw, The Rock's going to be there. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to see Cody and The Rock on Raw. It'll be a big night. We'll see what the next 2 episodes of SmackDown be. Then it'll be WrestleMania 40 live from Philadelphia. It's going to be interesting. Still haven't heard where WrestleMania 41 is going to be. Looking more like it's leaning to Minneapolis, but then it's looking like possibly in 2026 at WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. So a lot of interesting things, but we're going to have to wait and see how that all plays together. Hall of Fame-wise, we didn't get any new inductees recently. I don't know if we're getting anybody else or if we're done. A lot of speculation. I know the fans are clamoring, and I think we're big supporters of it. Hashtag Bray Wyatt Hall of Fame. Get it out there. Let's get it done.
Yes.
I know WWE statements coming out from Dave Meltzer saying that WWE is possibly not putting him in the Hall of Fame because they did this. They're releasing his documentary, his biography on April 1st, and they feel that that would overcloud it. I disagree. I hope they're holding out. I hope we get that documentary on the April 1st, which will be Monday, which will be Raw, and then on that Raw, they can announce that they're inducting Bray Wyatt. I don't think you need to wait to induct Bray Wyatt. Get it done now. He needs to be in there. It would be a super awesome Hall of Fame night, and Bray Wyatt needs to be in there. And then you have Paul Heyman to close out the night. Paul Heyman's going to be magic on the mic. This is what makes the Hall of Fame so interesting and exciting to get to hear these guys talk, and we're going to get to hear Paul Heyman talk. And with no Vince McMahon there, Paul Heyman can finally be inducted to the Hall of Fame the right way, because then he's going to be able to go out there and talk. We know Triple H isn't going to cut him off like a Vince McMahon would. They're going to make sure he gets to say what he wants to say, talk about everything he wants to talk about, not worry about fitting into the role. So it's going to be awesome for Paul Heyman to be able to open up. Who will induct Paul Heyman? I don't know yet. CM Punk, Steve Austin would be my top draws. I know Brock Lesnar's supposed to be back on the roster, but we haven't really heard any more about that, so I don't know if he's officially going to be there in any capacity, but I don't think even Brock Lesnar is the guy that induct Paul Heyman. Yes, they have a history, but I just, I don't know if Brock's the guy I want to see on stage inducting Paul. Yes, you could bring in any of the ECW guys, but end of the day, I think you're looking at a Punk or an Austin. So, we're excited. Next week, we're going to get SmackDown will get the final matches of the final 2 spots for the ladder match for the 6-10-man tag. New Catch Republic. It's New Catch Republic versus damn it. Legado del Fantasma. That's right. They're taking on Humberto and Angel. And then you have tonight's match winners, the Street Profits, going to take on Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So I say Austin Theory, Grayson Waller are going to get in there, and probably the New Catch Republic going to be the ones that are going to get solid in there. So this is interesting. And the craziness is Matt Hardy's almost halfway out of AEW, supposedly, trying to work to get Jeff out of there. A lot of rumors, speculation that the Hardy Boys might show up at WrestleMania and jump into this ladder match. Could be interesting. Punk is a special guest referee for Rollins McIntyre. That could be a very interesting play. Of course, I could also go with.
Even get there. We have CM Punk coming back this Raw. He's got to say something about Drew McIntyre with as much publicity as McIntyre has given him.
Yes. No, I think we're gonna have a good segment there. But hey, what if you threw Punk into the main event of night 1? What if Punk was a special guest referee for Rock Roman versus Cody Seth? There's a twist for you. There's a huge twist. Punk has issues with Rollins. He's got issues with Roman. Definitely got some leftover resentment towards The Rock. So, a lot of opportunity. So, hey, anything is an option. Anything is available. It could be interesting. Mr. Clarke, give me your final thoughts on Monday Night Raw while we're loaded up here. If you're here, we thank you for being here. We thank you for joining us. Joining the conversation, tell us what you thought of SmackDown tonight. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you not? What do you think the best match of the night was? Do you think this worked out? Do you think Cody's just a bigger crybaby? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Join the Value Wrestling family because we are growing and we're growing fast. Ring that bell for notifications. Give this video a thumbs up. I see 8 people concurrently. We've had over 19 views, but I'm only looking at 3 likes. 3 likes. When we get some more likes, hit that thumbs up. Help us out. Mr. Clarke, give me your final thoughts on tonight's Monday Night Raw.
As an overarching idea, this was a damn fine show.
Yes, it was.
That's really all I can say about it, because from the in-ring action to the advancement of the story, and maybe it's because we're just a few weeks away from WrestleMania. Maybe this is why they're deciding to amp it up. But I don't care what the reasons at this point. I enjoyed myself. That's all I care about. I enjoyed watching this show tonight.
It was a good, solid show. I don't get where some of the ideology of Cody being weak or looking weak. I think he's done fine for himself. It's going to be interesting. This
has to be from someone who's not paying attention to his character. Because Cody's all about that professionalism. And that's why, even though with all the adversity he's gone through with Roman and with the bloodline, yeah, he wanted to shake his hand like a man, the way his father would have done it.
If Punk is on the April 1st show, I hope he slaps The Rock. I hope The Rock and him have a confrontation after everything that was said. I would love to see that. That would be awesome. That would be some great, great shit, right? I will tell you what. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night. It's SmackDown. This has been your post-show review for your SmackDown, March 22nd, 2024. I am the big time, and that is Mr. Clarke, Mr. Paulus Clarke, Mr. Z, Miguel Z, our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert in the chat there. Keeping it hopping, keeping it going. And we thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this later, we appreciate it. Make sure you give this video a like. Always drop your comments. Feel free to share your opinion and thoughts about everything related to wrestling, at least. Nothing tomorrow. No live shows. I don't know if any content will get posted. It'll be Saturday if there's news. Of course, today I had 2 big time rants in one day. So many things going on. Of course, Big Nose came out later in the evening. Jack Perry stating that Tony Khan wouldn't release him, so we got Tony Khan, let my wrestlers free, let my wrestlers go. We had a couple of those in there. Every day, of course, we have this date in wrestling history, so always tune in for that. You get to learn a little bit about what's gone down in this date in wrestling history. We will all be back, me, Mr. Clarke, and Mr. Z will be back here Sunday afternoon at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with your weekly roundup. We will be breaking down everything in the week of wrestling. We're going to be talking a lot about WWE, the road to WrestleMania. We'll be talking a lot about Tony Khan, AEW, not releasing people. We're going to talk about the tampon bucks, and we're going to make the biggest hashtag in the world, I can guarantee you. So if you want to know about hashtag tampon bucks, you need to be here Sunday. And if anybody knows anybody that can get the Young Bucks, hey, come on. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, show up, show out. Let's talk about tampon bucks. I'm going to make this guarantee to you. I will get that thing. What's the word? I can't even think of the word right now. I'm going to get that hashtag trending. There we go. See, I get there. So, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about so much more. Mr. Miguel Z will bring us a taste, a flavor, a dash, a scent. It's like going to Baskin Robbins where you ask for just a little sample of that ice cream flavor. Well, Mr. Miguel Z is going to do that with the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast. He's going to give you a little flavor, a little test of what you can find out on Tuesdays, every Tuesdays, New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast hosted by Miguel Z, where he brings you all the details of everything going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but he'll give you a little bit of a taste of that, a little bit of a sample on that on Sunday. Then, of course, during the week, it's Raw, it's Dynamite, and it's SmackDown. We'll be doing that all next week again. And every Thursday, Mr. Clarke brings you this weekend preview from that Thursday until the next Wednesday, letting you know everything that's going on with the world of professional wrestling in that week of professional wrestling, getting you ready for every show, letting you know what to expect. Best of ability. Yes, Mr. Miguel Z, we know you're trending tampon bucks. Maybe we'll have some t-shirts here soon that say tampon bucks, and we will wear them loud and proud. No doubt about it. Thank you, Mr. Clarke, for that.
Have your wrestling cap or beanie, and then the tampon bucks shirt.
Thanks to Mr. Clarke for creating that hashtag, and now we're going to take it to a whole new level. We might have to do some video vignettes, some shorts that say This is the Value of Wrestling, and we approve this message. Tampon Bucks. Tampon Bucks. I don't know. Maybe Sunday we'll talk about possibly going to the next closest AEW show. I think it's May that there's going to be one in Bakersfield. What is Bakersfield from here? About 2.5 hours, Mr. Z? A good trip. I wouldn't go to Bakersfield for any other reason, but this might just be a good enough reason. I don't know. We're going to have to see. But yeah, come back. There's going to be a lot of great stuff. I'm telling you, Sunday is going to be a lit show. Sunday is going to be fire. Sunday is going to be fun. If you're not here for that block, if you're not here at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Value of Wrestling Weekly Roundup, you're missing out. It's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be a party. We're going to burn it down. It's going to be something interesting because we got some stuff to say. We got some stuff to talk about. And there's a lot of other news that's probably going to come out between here and now, maybe. Who knows? A lot of stuff going into WrestleMania. It's going to be exciting. Any final comments you want to say, Mr. Clarke? He wants to say, yeet! Yes, I know.
Wah, 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 wah. Yeah.
Eater of worlds.
Is that what you are?
No, that's you. I always said that. Just to be in line outside in a tampon buck shirt. Woo-wee. That Jim Cornette heat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can X the Jim Cornette at the Jim Cornette at Great Brian Last on X, hashtag tampon bucks, hashtag value wrestling. Mine and Mr. Clarke's is our handles on X are above our heads right now, so use those. I'm at Big Time VOW, VOW, and at Paulus. Clarke on X. Mr. Miguel Z is at King Bowser 30. Get those out there. We're trying to get Jim Cornette's attention. We want a reaction. If we can get a response from Jim Cornette and Brian Last at all, we will send you guys. We will get you a hashtag tampon buck shirt put together once we figure out how to do this. Hopefully, we've got an idea. We're trying to roll with it. But anybody who can help us get their attention, we'll do it. Let's go. Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your SmackDown review show for March 22nd. We're going to get out of here. We're going to say goodnight. We're going to say la-di-da-di out to party. I hear the rain pouring down, so just that, but we'll find out later. On the Big Time, this is Mr. Paulus Clarke. This is the Value of Wrestling. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for being here. We're going to get out of here and say goodnight. Mr. Clarke, say adios, paradieu, goodbye, good night, so long.
Adios, muchachos.
There you go.